Tonight at 5, police are investigating after dozens of car windows were smashed in downtown Madison. What investigators know so far.
Russia hits Ukraine with another wave of deadly airstrikes. Why the latest attacks were much harder to stop.
And this Breast Cancer Awareness Month, one woman has a warning for others. We'll share her story. You're watching News 3 Now at 5. And thanks for staying with us. Dozens of car windows were smashed in downtown Madison early this morning, causing thousands in damages.
The crime spree spanned 8 city blocks between East Washington Avenue and Tenney Park on the Isthmus. And police are still looking for a suspect. Our Andrew Banstra is on the ground with the story. Andrew?
Through the vibrant colors of leaves on the ground around the 1,300 blocks from Dayton to Mifflin, expanding to Johnson, Dickinson, and Thornton streets, neighbors woke up to a different color on Sunday morning. Neighbors say they saw blood and shattered glass layering the streets on the Isthmus. MPD confirmed that the windows of 22 cars were shattered between 8:30 and 8 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. While police have no suspect yet, they are combing through doorbell cameras that have been submitted by victims. MPD says they're working under the assumption that the damage wasn't financially motivated, rather one of a nefarious nature.
It seems like this was a pretty random moving trend of damage to property. And so we're investigating. Every victim is receiving that same level of investigation. We're working hard to try to identify the person responsible and hold them to account to those criminal damage to property charges.
Police say the offender's motive is unclear, that just few inexpensive items were taken from the vehicles, and it didn't appear the offender attempted to steal any cars. MPD added that they have not seen similar incidents across the city. People I spoke with in the neighborhood told me that they're disappointed and frightened to wake up to the news, but they weren't necessarily surprised. Now, on the good hand, neighbors have been helping each other out in the wake of this crime spree, sharing the best rates on window replacements that they've been able to find. MPD urges anybody with information to share it with them. In Madison, Andrew Banstra, News 3 Now.
Andrew, thank you. A few flurries hit southern Wisconsin today. Take a look. Snowflakes were flying at times throughout the day today. We shouldn't see any more snow, but chilly temperatures are here for the next few days. Boy, there's a Wisconsin picture for you. Snow with the fall leaves. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti has more from the weather patio. Gary?
Well, I had a breakdown. I had to put the jacket on. That's how chilly it is out here. And yes, there have been some flakes of snow. Might even be a possibility for a few more this evening, but you can see a visible cloud track. That is a fall picture. You can see those clouds just streaming in from the north. So it's the combination of clouds keeping the sun out and the northerly winds that really put a chill in the air. And you can see there still might be a few flurries out toward the La Crosse area. More likely downwind from Lake Superior, and rain and snow showers downwind from Lake Michigan. But across southern Wisconsin, if you are seeing some snowflakes, they're more likely to be west of Dane County. 6-hour future track radar shows that everything should pretty much come to an end pretty quickly. But the winds are brisk. They're in the 25 to 30 mile per hour range. You couple that with temperatures that are in the 30s, and it feels like temperatures are in the mid 20s to around 30 degrees with wind chills. Current temperature 38 in Madison. Most of southern Wisconsin seeing temperatures in the upper 30s, although it is 40 in Boscobel and Prairie du Chien. Here in Dane County, already down to 37 Waunakee and Cross Plains, and 37 in the town of Perry. For this evening, look for skies to be mostly cloudy. It'll be windy and cold. Temperatures dropping into the middle 30s by late evening, and then we'll look for even colder weather for tonight. But the good news is warm-ups on the way for the end of the week. I'll have more on that in just a few minutes.
Gary, thank you. And we're learning new details about the suspect who allegedly assaulted a woman in downtown Madison last month. The incident happened near North Bassett and West Mifflin streets on September 27th. Police say the victim was walking when a man groped her. The suspect ran to his car, drove off after the woman screamed. Police released new details saying the man was driving a blue 4-door sedan with a sunroof. He's described as a 5'8" heavyset Latino man in his early to mid-20s. Anyone with information about the man's identity is asked to call Madison area Crime Stoppers. Week 3 of the Darrell Brooks trial began with more testimony. Daniel Ryder took the stand this morning. Now, Ryder's Ring doorbell camera captured Brooks outside of his home shortly before he was arrested after the Waukesha parade attack.
And about 5 o'clock, my Ring doorbell goes off. And then there's a gentleman at my front porch knocking on the door saying that they're homeless, they're cold, and they need to use my phone so that they can tell their Uber where to pick them up. And the 20 seconds that I got from the initial interaction was just the suspect coming up to my house and knocking on the door and saying he's homeless and needs help.
Ryder later testified that he sold that ring cam video to news outlets because he said it would be good for the community to see justice that officers caught the suspect. The officers who arrested Brooks also testified today. It's unclear when prosecutors will wrap up the case, but you can follow along and watch a live stream of the trial at channel3000.com.
Several explosions rocked Ukraine's capital city of Kyiv earlier today, killing at least 4 people and injuring several others. Officials say the latest Russian attacks were carried out by drones, devices that are hard to detect by Ukraine's air defenses. Chris Wynn has more.
Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine, bombarded with kamikaze drones on Monday, according to Ukrainian officials who repeated their calls for Western allies to supply the country with more advanced air defense systems. Kyiv's security forces fighting back, shooting down 36 of 42 drones that were launched by Russia.
The Russians tried to destroy critical infrastructure of our hometown. Before the winter, they want to switch off the electricity and to make an attack to our power plants, stations.
The drone attacks come after Moscow fired hundreds of missiles at civilians across Ukraine last week.
Putin has had a very bad 3 months. His offensive in Donbass was stopped in mid-July. You've had this great counteroffensive by the Ukrainians. And then you had the blow-up of the Kerch Bridge, which is vital for Russian military supplies for their forces in southern Ukraine.
The Biden administration will now factor in Russia's use of these drones in its future planning as it pertains to helping Ukraine, according to a senior administration official. A pregnant woman among those killed in the strikes as search and rescue operations continue.
I suspect Zelensky has no interest in conceding any land of Ukraine to Russia because of the great Russian war crimes committed against the Ukrainian people, which includes the rape of Ukrainian women, the abduction of Ukrainian children, and massive torture.
In Washington, I'm Chris Wynn reporting.
Drones have played a key role in the conflict since Russia began its full-scale invasion, but their use has gone up after Moscow acquired new drones from Iran over the summer.
A 43-year-old who police believe is behind the serial killings of 5 men in Central California is now behind bars. Police say Wesley Brownlee ambushed and killed 5 men in Stockton between early July and late September. He was arrested over the weekend wearing all black with a mask around his neck, carrying a gun. Investigators say they were able to track down Brownlee in large part thanks to hundreds of tips from residents.
Our administrative team on this group has worked so hard with the community to try to uncover like every stone and try to identify who this person was who's been terrorizing our community.
The suspect's currently being held in the county jail there without bail and is expected to be arraigned tomorrow on murder charges.
Kevin Spacey's attorney says the actor will testify in his sexual misconduct trial. There's no word yet on when Spacey will take the stand. Fellow actor Anthony Rapp has accused Spacey of assaulting him in the 1980s when Rapp was 14 years old. Rapp first went public with his allegations against Spacey in 2017. Shortly after, Spacey tweeted a statement saying he was, quote, beyond horrified to hear his story, but that he didn't remember the alleged incident. The family of George Floyd is thinking about suing Kanye West over comments that he made in a recent podcast. West suggested Floyd died from a fentanyl overdose, and former Minnesota police officer Derek Chauvin's knee was not on Floyd's neck. A medical examiner determined Floyd's cause of death was cardiopulmonary arrest that happened during the neck compression. Floyd's family is considering suing for intentional infliction of emotional distress.
Inflation, soaring mortgage rates, and record high prices are making it extremely difficult for many Americans to buy a home. Mortgage rates have risen to their highest point since 2002 now. Consistent Fed rate hikes are also putting pressure on the real estate market. Housing affordability down 29% from just a year ago. The fastest cooling markets are in Seattle, Las Vegas, San Diego, and Denver, but Chicago and Milwaukee markets, they're still holding strong.
It's just a changing market. 2008, that was a crash landing. I feel it's going to be a softer landing. It's going to be over a period of time as people get adjusted to the new rates and the new purchase price.
Experts say despite the price cuts, the average monthly mortgage payment is still higher than if you bought a home at the peak of the market. But if the rate drops, they remind you can always refinance to ease the pain. And next at 5, you can now buy hearing aids over the counter where you can pick them up soon.
And a woman is sharing her story as she fights an aggressive form of breast cancer. Her message to others coming up after the break. Plus, we're learning new information about a deputy-involved shooting in Dane County. Investigative reporter Naomi Coles breaks down what happened tonight at 6.
And the markets start the week strong. The Dow up 551 points. The Nasdaq gains 354. The S&P 500 adds 95. We'll be right back.
Vitense Golfland offers 2 golf and multi-sport simulator suites. Play great golf courses with unmatched viewing clarity. Play different sports such as football and soccer. Have fun with Zombie Ball. Vitense Golfland provides simulator fun for everyone.
In the Senate, Ron Johnson pushed tax loopholes benefiting himself and his donors.
Did my business benefit? Sure. Did some of my donor businesses? Sure.
But here's what Johnson's doing to us. He voted to raise the retirement age and allow cuts to Social Security. Even supports letting Wisconsin ban nearly all abortions and said, if you don't like it, you can move. Ron Johnson works for himself, never us. SMP is responsible for the content of this ad.
Everything seems to be getting more and more expensive these days. And it's the same for your heating bills. Since it will cost more to heat your home this winter, USA Insulation wants to give you control over your utility bills. Our premium injection foam keeps the cold outside and your warm, comfortable air inside, right where it belongs. Call now before winter and get a $500 early bird discount.
USA Insulation.
You heard the jingle man, Wisconsin. That means it's time to get a versatile, rugged, athletic SUV that makes you feel like you just won a title. Again. Honda was just crowned KBB.com's best value brand for the 7th year in a row. So get up and go to your Wisconsin Heartland Honda dealer today. Honda gets Wisconsin. Bring it home, Songbird.
Get up and go!
My school does active shooter drills every few months. It's terrifying to think about.
Tim Michaels wants to allow teenagers my age to buy AR-15s with no waiting period.
It's a terrible idea.
It's a really bad idea.
And Michaels wants to allow people to bring loaded guns on our school grounds. And that's just not okay.
I don't want guns in my school.
We shouldn't be making things worse.
Tim Michaels is just way too radical.
He's way too divisive.
Tim Michaels is wrong for Wisconsin.
Vitense Golfland offers 2 golf and multi-sport simulator suites. Play great golf courses with unmatched viewing clarity. Play different sports such as football and soccer. Have fun with Zombie Ball. Vitense Golfland provides simulator fun for everyone.
News 3 Now brought you the only debate between Governor Tony Evers and challenger Tim Michaels, focusing on the important issues facing Wisconsin and our nation. Committed to giving you a clear and objective view of campaign 2022. News 3 Now, your local election headquarters.
Once you start, you just can't stop.
On UW Homecoming Week, Mark Kane introduces you to a Wisconsin alum with a unique collection that chronicles decades of Badger history. Right on the button. Tonight on News 3 Now at 10. You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Today, Wisconsin election clerks and experts held a briefing to go over information on the state's election rules and processes. Interest in election administration is greater than ever, from verification of ballots to ballot counting and certification. One topic over the past few elections, there was a concern about a poll worker shortage. Clerks say they have backup lists in case workers drop out, among other precautions.
We actually will share poll workers between municipalities if needed, and that's because you only have to be a resident of the county. You don't have to be a resident of the municipality.
Officials also say if you as a voter feel you haven't been treated fairly, you're feeling harassed, or you feel like our rights have been infringed upon, you can call 866-OUR-VOTE. There you'll be connected to a knowledgeable person who can help provide more information on Wisconsin's election laws or relief.
Hearing aids can now be purchased over the counter without a prescription exam or fitting, and this is the first time that's happened. It comes after an August rule change by the FDA, and that means hearing aids will be available at major retailers like Walgreens and CVS, Walmart. It could save people up to $3,000 a year. And experts say leaving hearing loss untreated could be detrimental to overall health and is possibly linked to things like dementia and increased risks of falls.
The people most helped are adults with mild to moderate hearing loss who might not take that first step.
Many hope the increased availability of hearing aids will also help remove the stigma attached to wearing devices, while the increased competition could lead to cheaper, better technology in the future.
It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month this month, and one woman is sharing her story to educate others about the importance of early detection. Naomi Ruckham introduces us to Renee Williams, who is fighting an aggressive form of cancer.
Renee Williams gets mammograms and does self-exams with her family history of breast cancer. Earlier this year, the 52-year-old felt a lump.
My mom passed away from breast cancer when I was 5 years old. I always had a feeling that either me or my sisters, one of us would end up with it, and it ended up being me.
Renee was diagnosed with triple-negative breast cancer. The aggressive cancer is more common in women under 40 who are Black or who have a BRCA1 mutation. The cancers are more likely to come back after treatment and have a poorer outlook than other breast cancers.
Triple-negative breast cancer is a very scary diagnosis, but it does sound like there's hope.
Yes, absolutely. Dr. Sylvia Adams with NYU Langone Health says adding immunotherapy to the standard chemotherapy is a major advance in treatment for patients, including Renee.
We actually had a very early, good clinical response and were able to take her to surgery earlier. And she had no residual cancer at time of surgery, which predicts an excellent outcome and cure.
For patients with early disease, clinical trials are underway to better tailor treatments.
Make sure that patients have less side effects from the chemotherapy. Maybe we can do less chemotherapy in some patients.
I don't care what diagnosis you get. That doesn't mean it's a death sentence.
Renee wants women to know early detection is critical.
Sometimes you won't feel it. Go and get your mammograms.
The mother and grandmother is starting radiation. She's back at work as an oncology clerk and grateful to help others going through what she has. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News, New York.
The American Cancer Society estimates nearly 288,000 new breast cancer cases will be diagnosed in women this year. Triple-negative breast cancer accounts for 10 to 15% of all breast cancers. Let's get a look now at your certified most accurate weather on this blustery day. Here's Gary Canalti. Hi, Gary.
Hi. Boy, it is chilly out there. Cold enough that there probably still are a few flakes of snow falling from the clouds over at least the western parts of our viewing area. Nothing that's going to stick to the ground, though, because temperatures are still well above freezing. But you can see this snow probably is sticking to the ground up in upper Michigan. They've got snow squalls downwind from Lake Superior. Downwind from Lake Michigan, you have rain showers, but maybe mixing in with a few flakes of snow over parts of northern Indiana. A couple of weeks from now, and that'll be sticking to the ground, certainly. 6-hour future track radar, though, shows those lake effect snow and rain bands continuing, but everything is east of us. Southern Wisconsin should stay precipitation-free beginning probably in the next couple of hours and lasting for the rest of the night. 3 things you need to know in the forecast. Temperatures, low temperatures will be below freezing for the next few nights. High temperatures will only be in the middle 40s for tomorrow and Wednesday, so pretty chilly, but it will be dry beginning tomorrow and lasting through the weekend. I'm not looking for any precipitation, and there's a fairly significant warm-up on the way at the end of the week. High temperatures will be in the middle 60s by Friday and then to near 70 by Sunday of next weekend. Low temperatures this morning, very cold. Temperatures below freezing all the way down into parts of Kansas and Colorado, even northern portions of Oklahoma, much of the upper Midwest. If they didn't have a freeze before last night, they probably saw it here in Madison. We dropped to 32 degrees, but you can see even downwind from Lake Michigan, that didn't have much of an effect on temperatures. Those northerly winds just masses continue to pour southward out of Canada around a large area of low pressure aloft. So you get the double whammy. You have the northerly winds and you have the cloud cover with the unstable air aloft, and that keeps the sun from getting through and just keeps things cold. And the second cold front has come on through, just reinforcing the cold air here. But as we take a look at current temperatures right now, they're in the lower 30s in northern Wisconsin, upper 30s here. So you can see certainly cold enough for some of that snow to stick to the ground up near Lake Superior. Compared to 24 hours ago, these temperatures continue to fall by about 5 to 10 degrees. And yes, we're talking about wind chills that are in the 20s and even teens over parts of upper Michigan. Fortunately, we're not going to get quite that cold. Planning your night, look for cloudy skies this evening and turn partly cloudy overnight. Low temperature dropping to 30 in Verona, 29 Dalyville, 31 degrees in Brooklyn. Across the rest of southern Wisconsin, a little warmer to the east because of a little more cloud cover. 31 in Watertown, whereas Prairie du Chien and La Crosse, they'll probably clear out and temperatures will drop into the upper 20s there. For tomorrow, more sunshine, so that'll get our high temperature up to 45, so partly sunny. That's good news, but it'll be windy, and that'll just add chill to the air. So while the temperature will be 45 for a high, we'll probably feel more like we'll be in the 30s for much of the day. 7 to 10 day forecast, 46 on Wednesday, but then we start the warm up. 52 Thursday, 65 on Friday, and then upper 60s to around 70 for the weekend. Still dry. Sunday will be windy, but then we'll see some showers and thunderstorms Sunday night into Monday morning along a cold front. Monday turns windy and cooler with highs in the lower 60s, and then more seasonable temperatures, highs in the mid to upper 50s, and just slight chances for showers for the middle of next week. As we check out first warn traffic right now, things looking pretty good on the Beltline, not seeing any red in there, so traffic moving pretty steadily in both directions, as well as the main highways on the east side of Madison. Right now, about a 15-minute trip either way on the Beltline between University Avenue and the interstate. Heading out of Madison, 24 minutes from the Beltline to Janesville on I-3990, 16 minutes on US 12 from Middleton to Sauk City, downtown to Sun Prairie, East Washington Avenue, and US 151 takes you 18 minutes. That's your news for now. First warn traffic.
All right, Gary, thank you. Habitat for Humanity of Dane County is offering up a free and inspirational breakfast this week. It's happening tomorrow morning at Monona Terrace. Registration and optional networking starts at 7:30 a.m. and breakfast begins at 8. Habitat has built more than 300 homes in Dane County, providing affordable housing for families. News 3 Now's Chris Stanford from our morning show will MC the event. You can register ahead of time today at habitatdane.org. Well, it's a rare art auction that could be a record breaker. We'll tell you about it next at 5.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Hi, I'm Deb. I'm from Wisconsin, and I'm a conservative. Tim Michaels' position on abortion is too strict, too harsh. And while I am pro-life, I am also pro-woman, and I believe we have to be able to have exceptions for rape and incest. We need people that are reasonable when it comes to making laws about health issues and reproductive rights. There's no way I could vote for Tim Michaels for governor.
Republican Accountability PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
If you overdraw your account, Wells Fargo gives you an extra day grace period to avoid the overdraft fee. What if everything came with a grace period? Like accidentally parking where you shouldn't.
Hey, what about this one? Nah, that one gets an extra day. Somebody got lucky.
Like having an extra day grace period? When it comes to overdrafts, you can with Wells Fargo.
The house before you, over 30 years old, still has its original window. Boom.
There's no need to be afraid of old windows. Call Feldco for 50% off.
It's the biggest sale of the season. 50% off Feldco windows, plus no money down and no interest until 2024.
50% off windows ends soon. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
This is how it feels to do more with less asthma, thanks to Dupixent. Dupixent is not for sudden breathing problems. It's an add-on treatment
for specific types of moderate to severe asthma and can help improve lung function for better breathing in as little as 2 weeks. Dupixent helps prevent asthma attacks and can even reduce or eliminate oral steroids. Imagine that. Dupixent can cause allergic reactions that can be severe. Get help right away if you have rash, chest pain, worsening shortness of breath, tingling, or numbness in your limbs. Tell your doctor about new or worsening joint aches and pain or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines, including steroids, without talking to your doctor. Who knows what you can do when you do more with less asthma? Ask your asthma specialist about Dupixent.
I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
Ron Johnson caught lying. Independent fact checks call his attacks on Mandela Barnes false and misleading. But it's Johnson's views that are alarming. Johnson supported a ban on abortions. He co-sponsored a bill that makes no exceptions for rape, incest, or the life of the woman. And Johnson said if women don't like it, they can move. The truth is, it's Ron Johnson who doesn't belong in Wisconsin.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Famous masterpieces belonging to the late Microsoft billionaire Paul Allen are expected to bring in record-breaking bids at an auction in New York next month.
Now, rarely does a billionaire's bounty go up for sale. 150 pieces from the late Microsoft's co-founder estate will be put under the hammer here. Described as the sale of the century, it features artwork spanning some 500 years, and they will not go cheap. Some pieces like this Cezanne landscape are expected to fetch over $100 million.
It's by value the greatest auction ever put on in terms of the range and quality of the masterpieces. It's the greatest ever put on.
Well, these works of art are on display right now in London ahead of the sale. Now, for folks with a little less pocket change, there are some pieces ranging in the low millions. Collectors from around the world are expected to bid on the billionaire's treasures when they're sold on November 9th. We're back with a final check of your First Warn forecast in just a moment.
Some ideas seem good, but aren't.
These guys will buy our house without even seeing it.
Online buyers make offers that seem attractive at first, only to lower or cancel at the last minute. We Buy Ugly Houses won't reduce or cancel our firm cash offers before closing. Call or click to sell quick.
The Internet of Things is evolving, creating the Internet of You. And Spectrum, America's leading internet and mobile provider, is bringing you seamless connectivity across all your devices. Introducing Spectrum One, Spectrum Internet with speeds of 300 megabits, advanced Wi-Fi, and Spectrum Mobile Unlimited, all for just $49.99 a month. Call 833-673-4999. Spectrum Internet delivers speeds up to a gig with over 99.9% network reliability. Advanced Wi-Fi provides enhanced security and privacy that automatically blocks threats to protect all of your devices. And Spectrum Mobile gives you unlimited talk, text, and data with nationwide 5G and the most reliable service coast to coast. Switch now. Call 833-673-4999. At Spectrum, it's not just about connecting things. It's about connecting you. Get it all with Spectrum One, Spectrum Internet, advanced Wi-Fi, and one line of Spectrum Mobile Unlimited for $49.99 a month. Call 833-673-4999 or visit a Spectrum store today.
Update your floors with 11% off everything at Menards. Enhancing the beauty of your home is easy with our great selection of Mohawk flooring. Carpet adds a soft and luxurious feel to your living space. Laminate flooring is durable and easy to install, making it the perfect choice for active lifestyles. All Mohawk flooring is 11% off right now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey, we're here at the local farmers market where Informed Choice Insurance Agency is offering fresh, hand-picked local Medicare. What do you mean when you say shop local for Medicare?
A lot of Medicare health plans have benefits that are specific to your county. So why would you call a national 1-800 number when your local Medicare plans have all the bells and whistles the national TV ads promise, only better?
Don't be fooled by national TV hype. When it comes to your Medicare options, keep it local with Informed Choice Insurance Agency, and their services are free.
I'm Sheriff Jim Johnson.
I'm Sheriff Eric Severson.
We've got the real story on Mandela Barnes.
Barnes wants to defund our police, but he spent over $600 grand of your money on police protection for himself.
Barnes wants to eliminate bail for violent felons, and his administration has already released over 800 criminals, including 44 child rapists.
Take it from us.
Mandela Barnes policies are a threat to your family.
I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message.
Some ideas seem good, but aren't.
Maybe these guys will buy our house.
What could go wrong?
Like rookie home buyers who can lower or cancel offers without notice. We Buy Ugly Houses won't reduce or cancel our firm cash offers before closing. Call or click to sell quick.
We've got a lot of news coming up. Iranian-made suicide drones strike the capital of Kyiv as Russia steps up its attack on civilians in Ukraine. Plus, 70 million Americans under freeze alerts, and the major cities already seeing the first snowfall of the season. And an uplifting story about how it's never too late to chase your dreams, emphasis on the lifting. It's tonight on the CBS Evening News. Finally at 5, a California bakery is blending bread and Star Wars. One house bakery created Pan Solo.
You see him there? It's, of course, based on the scene in Empire Strikes Back where Han Solo is frozen in carbonite. You see that? That sculpture made entirely out of bread. It's part of an entry for a scarecrow contest in that town out in California. Pretty cool for you Star Wars fans. And Han Solo, Pan Solo.
Yes.
Let's go to Gary, final check of the forecast.
Pretty chilly out there. Let's start out by taking a look at the live view from the WISC Skycam. Lots of clouds here. A few peaks of sun every once in a while from the Platteville Queen Bee Radio Skycam, but maybe a few flurries, especially out west of Dane County. Nothing that'll stick to the ground, and 6-hour future track radar shows most of the precipitation out over Lake Michigan. These are the wind chills right now. Feels like 29 in Madison, even though the air temperature is at 38 degrees across Dane County. Temperatures are mainly in the 30s thanks to the cloud cover and the winds. 37 right now in Verona and also in Fitchburg.
All right, Gary, thank you. We're back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6. CBS Evening News is next.